So what happens when you take the creeping, unknowable dread of cosmic horror and you smash it right into the brutal, war-torn world of fantasy? Well, today we're going to peel back the veil on two absolute titans of terror. We're going to uncover the deep, twisted roots that connect the worlds of H.P. Lovecraft and Warhammer.
Okay, let's just dive right into this quote. This one idea from the master of horror himself is so much more than just a spooky line. It's basically the philosophical blueprint for some of the most terrifying worlds ever imagined. Honestly, it's the engine that's going to drive everything we're about to explore.
You see, to really get the connection between Lovecraft and Warhammer, we have to start with this big idea: cosmicism. You might know it as cosmic horror. Now, this isn't about jump scares or monsters hiding in the closet. No. It's that soul-crushing terror you feel when you realize that in the grand scheme of things, humanity is utterly, hopelessly irrelevant. And this philosophy, this feeling, it didn't just stumble into Warhammer by accident. Oh no, it was deliberately woven right into its fabric. And it was done by some very specific artists who were working in the super early days of Games Workshop. And guess what? They brought their love for Lovecraft right into the studio with them. So let's meet our first architect, Ian Miller. Before Warhammer was even a thing, his quirkily etched Gothic style and his macabre sensibility were already the face of Lovecraftian horror for a whole generation of readers. His art was right there on the covers of the H.P. Lovecraft paperbacks. And here's the direct connection: the smoking gun. Games Workshop went and hired that exact same artist. Miller's surreal, totally nightmarish vision was basically imported directly into their new fantasy setting. He became the guy responsible for creating the look of the Chaos Wastes. He was essentially painting a Lovecraftian landscape right onto the world of Warhammer. And working right there alongside Miller was Tony Ackland. So if Miller was providing the haunted landscapes, Ackland was the one populating them. He was the artist tasked with the conceptual design of the first Chaos Demons. You know, the actual creatures that would embody this new, terrifying force in the universe. And he couldn't have been clearer about where he got his inspiration. In an interview, Ackland said it straight up. He said that while the founder of Games Workshop was really into author Michael Moorcock, he personally leaned more towards H.P. Lovecraft. The guy literally designing the demons was a direct pipeline for Lovecraft's ideas. Okay, so we've got the architects, we know where their heads were at, so let's see how that inspiration really shaped the universe's design. The best way to do that is to put the gods of each world side by side and just see how deep this influence really runs. Now, this is crucial. There's a fundamental difference in their nature. Lovecraft's gods, they're alien. They're utterly indifferent to us. They might wipe us out by accident, like a person stepping on an anthill without even noticing. But Warhammer's gods, they're predatory. They are deeply, horribly personal. They notice us. And this table just perfectly illustrates the parallels. So you've got Tzeentch, the god of schemes, fate, and all that mind-bending magic. He's a dead ringer for Yog-Sothoth, the entity who is the key and the gate to all of time and space. Then there's Nurgle, the lord of decay and disease. He's got that stagnant, slimy rot of Cthulhu, but also the paradoxical, horrifying fertility of Shub-Niggurath, the All-Mother. It's a perfect blend. And the connections go even deeper than the gods. I mean, they're baked right into the origin story of life in the Warhammer galaxy itself. And it's an origin story where humanity's place in the cosmos is, well, let's just say it's anything but special. So, in his book, At the Mountains of Madness, Lovecraft talks about the Elder Things. Now, they weren't gods. They were cosmic scientists, biological engineers who showed up on Earth 1 billion years ago and literally created the first life on our planet, just to serve their own purposes.
Sound familiar? Well, Warhammer has its own version, the Old Ones. They were this cold-blooded race of psychic masters who arrived in the galaxy and started engineering entire species. The Eldari, the Quark, maybe even humanity. And not out of some grand benevolent plan, but to serve as living weapons in a giant celestial war against their enemies. So what you should really take away from this is just how chilling that parallel is. In both universes, humanity isn't the pinnacle of creation. We're not special. We are either a side effect of an ancient science experiment, or maybe a discarded weapon from a war that nobody even remembers. Our entire existence is basically an accident, a footnote in a much larger, much more terrifying story.
And that thought right there, it brings us to the single most important point of divergence.
This is the one crucial twist on Lovecraft's formula that makes Warhammer's brand of horror so uniquely bleak, and it's what defines the entire grimdark genre. The terror in Lovecraft is existential, right? It's that soul-crushing moment when you realize that you just don't matter. The universe is a vast, cold, unfeeling machine, and the ancient gods at its center, they're so far beyond you that your hopes, your dreams, your entire existence, it's all completely meaningless. They don't hate you, they don't even notice you. But in Warhammer, the horror is the exact opposite. The universe is not indifferent, it is actively, malevolently hungry. The gods absolutely see you. In fact, they are made of your emotions. They feed on your ambition, your rage, your despair. Your very soul is the fuel that powers their eternal grinding conflict. And this leaves us with a final, pretty provocative thought. It's a question that really gets to the very heart of what makes these two visions of horror so powerful and at the same time so profoundly different from one another. The answer to that question is what defines Warhammer. It is a universe where trying to build a better future, where feeling hope or ambition or even love, that doesn't save you from the darkness. It makes the darkness stronger. And that right there, that is the truly chilling essence of Grimdark.